growing up, my dad always said, real men don't eat quiche. Well, I don't agree with my dad about that anymore because I absolutely love quiche, especially fresh-made quiche. I mean, you just can't beat it. And I've had everything from the Lorraine and the Florentine style, but also salmon quiche. It's one of my favorites. I had that down in Florida one time. So there's a lot you can do with it. You can make a breakfast quiche with this if you want to add a little bit of sausage in with the bacon, and then add just a little bit of extra shredded cheese over the top of it, let it melt down. It makes a great breakfast treat. Or if you're doing brunch style recipes and stuff, you can use that and go with it. Okay, now for this one, I'll be using, this is just a pie dough, that's all it is. You can buy it down here in the frozen section, or if you want to make your own, either way it's going to work just as fine. But if you also want to try one of the flaky, they've got these little flaky shells down there. You can use those, but if you do, cook it halfway up along to where they puff up, but not till they don't let them turn brown on you. Go ahead and pull them out, let them cool down, and then just take the end of a wooden spoon and mash the centers down. And then you can use those with this recipe. But if you cook it all the way through and then add it, it's going to burn the pastry. But you want to at least let them rise enough to where that they'll stand on their own, and then you can punch the center down and put all the ingredients the same way that we're doing this. Which, since we're dealing with finger foods today, now they also have little pastry cups that's slightly larger than this. If you want to use that, it works just as well. Just add on about another 5 minutes of the cooking time, and that should be just fine. And since these are non-stick, you don't have to spray these. There's enough grease and stuff in this batter too that'll prevent it from sticking. Now, if you don't have the miniature sets of dough cutters, if you look in your seasoning cabinets, everybody's got different size seasonings in their cabinets. If you got one of the large ones, these are perfect size for cutting with this. And all you need to do, you cut that, lay that down the center, just kind of press down, press on the edges a little bit. If it rips, that's okay, just push that up a little bit more. Like so. You want to make sure and press it down, because if you have it to where you just press it inwards, when you go pull the stuff in, it could easily break through the bottom and just fill it up underneath it instead of filling up the cup itself. Just get that along the sides there. Now with this, you can sit there and take a knife or a fork, just kind of perforate the bottom a little bit. And what that'll do, that'll prevent the center of that from raising up on you. So that way you'll still have a good cup when it comes out instead of it puffing out like a regular puff pastry. All right. Get a mixing bowl here. Now those, it takes, once again, between 12 and 15 minutes to cook those. All right. I'm going to start off with our eggs. Go ahead and whisk those up. Okay, just make sure those yolks are good and broken up. Okay. Now the bacon, I went ahead and pre-cooked this ahead of time. I actually do not recommend just using bacon bits because you'll have a better flavor using fresh bacon because they'll still have some of the grease on there. You just drain most of it off, but you really want that flavor in with this dish. And we'll get that here in a second. Go ahead and add our milk and our heavy cream. Now it's salt and pepper to taste, about a half a teaspoon will work just about right on this. And then, of course, the nutmeg. Okay, let's go ahead and whisk that in there. Now, for convenience sake, we're going to pretend this has already been cooked, just so I can show you this. Take the bacon. Now, if it's dried enough, you can usually crumble it to the size. If you have to cut it some more, that's fine. So basically what you're wanting is enough where you can feel the bottom of that cup. And don't worry if it, because where it's on the bottom right now, when you put the liquids in it, it's going to cause it to rise a little bit. And if you need to, you can always just take a little knife or something and kind of stir it up. But with as small as these are, you're not going to need to do that really. Then with the Parmesan, now one of the reasons why we're doing this separate, if you mix that in with that and then you try to scoop it out, you're going to have some of these, it's going to have bacon, some of them's going to have Parmesan, some will have both, some probably won't have either one. So this way guarantees that each bite's going to have at least some bacon and Parmesan in there. And these are real handy for this, but you can use a spoon or anything that you want for adding it to that. Let it seep in there. And go ahead and fill it all the way up there. Now some of them will actually seep down a little bit, depending on how much bacon or how tightly packed you have the bacon. That's fine. You can always go back and add a little bit more. You're going to bake this off an additional 13 minutes to finish cooking this off. And when they're done, you get a quick, easy finger food that you need no serving utensils or anything for, and that's full of flavors as well. And if you want to add a little bit of parsley or something green just on top, just for appearance, that works really well. But also you can take the green chives, and if you want to add them to this mix, you can. But usually you want to use fresh. You don't want to use the dry because you'll tell a difference in the flavor. But you can use the dried onions and let them cook in that. And that adds a good flavor to it as well.